podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with the boys of Poi and Soy on our post-credit segment. This is the post-credit segment where we go through movies, TV, entertainment, and all the good stuff that surrounds it. With me, as always, are my longtime friends and co-hosts, Keone McKee, Jalen Holston, Jared Chirai, and I am Nolan Chang. Say hello to the crowd, everybody.
Sabara.
What's up? It's good with you.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
We're delirious today.
Yeah.
We actually went to the LA Fair last weekend, and there was like a merch shop where there was kind of like horror films, and there was a What's Up shirt, and Shell was very close to purchasing it. Or no, one of our friends was, but they didn't end up getting it. And I thought,
But why?
Opportunity missed.
because it's the What's Up, like tongue out face.
With the scream, yeah.
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 But yeah, today we have a very quick nugget for you guys today. It's just going to be some news that's dropped around the entertainment world.
We always say that, and it's never a quick nugget.
Well, I mean, this one we're not reviewing anything specifically, so it's a little bit safer.
We'll find a way.
It is a little safe.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a way. The first piece of news that we got going for you guys today is that the young
It's like,
actress.
we'll find a way to make this way longer.
We'll
than it
make
needs
this
to
an
be.
hour and a half for you guys. You saw
Okay,
Killers
shoots,
of the
I'm
Flower
done.
Moon
Bye.
was 3.5 hours. This is going to be 4.5 hours.
Good lord.
Great.
That would be
heavens.
terrible.
Yeah,
But
one
yeah,
day.
the first bit of news is that How to Train Your Dragon is coming out with a live action remake. The actress who played Sarah in The Last of Us, the daughter of Pedro Pascal's character Joel,
Mhm.
Nico Parker, is going to be playing the role. I forgot her name.
Ingrid. No. Astrid. It's one of
Probably
those.
not that one. Yeah, yeah, right.
Is it Astrid?
Asterisk. I don't know. Etc.
No idea.
Astrid.
I don't know. And
But she'll be in it.
Mason
It's great.
Thames is also going to be starring in that as well. He is the young boy actor who played in The Black Phone, starring across from Ethan Hawke, which actually was a very delightful thriller horror movie that I think was very beneficial for his career because most of it is him kind of on his own, locked in a room, talking to ghosts or just talking to himself. And so he definitely got some chops. And I think that
Like
these are two
complete
great
opposite of How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
Like,
seems like
completely
he's got that
different tone.
boyish attitude still. He's quite young, so it's definitely going to be pretty cool. And I think the original was Jay Baruchel, right, for the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
it
favorite
was-
guy.
it was
Just
Jay.
gonna throw it over to you, Keone. What did you think originally of the first
I
animated
thought you were
movie,
going to
How
say,
to Train
what
Your
do you
Dragon?
think about Jay Baruchel? I mean, I said it before. I think that what is that DreamWorks? They're DreamWorks, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think DreamWorks is like one of the most underrated like filmmakers right now. Like they pop out some freaking fantastic franchises. Obviously, it started with Shrek, which we all loved growing up, and I think How to Train Your Dragon is another one, super underrated, been fantastic. Every single one that they drop, it gets better and better. Like honestly, like they just have a fantastic product. So I've been saying for a long time.
Oh my.
I've been
God.
saying for a long time that they're a great franchise, and DreamWorks has just popped out a lot of great things. So, I mean, honestly, it's a fantastic thing to hear that they're going to be popping out a live action version of this, and they already started off with two fantastic actors. So, I mean, what's her name from The Last of Us?
Found out she's also the daughter of Thandie Newton,
Yes, yeah, exactly.
which is pretty dope.
She was in something when she was even younger that I can't recall what it was, but yeah, she was fantastic in all her roles. I think she's young, up and coming. This will be a great kind of step off point for her career if she does, or if it does end up doing well. And I think if they do it right, I mean, they have like all the tools to kind of. I don't know who's actually producing the film. Is it going to be like? Is it in conjunction with DreamWorks? Like, are they doing like the live action animation
I'm
stuff?
trying to
or
think
is
who's
that
their
completely
parent
different?
studio. Is it? It's not Universal, is it?
I think it may be because there was like that whole. No, maybe that's Illumination, because Illumination has
Illumination.
like park
Illumination.
ties, right? Because they got the whole
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
yeah. So I don't think it's Universal. It might be something else. But either way, like I do think that they do it right. It could be a fantastic film. It already has a fantastic message. It's one of those things that turn to live action. It could be
Yeah.
great. So
Jared, you got a chance to watch The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Um, in regards to
Thank you,
this
Kieran.
young actress who is hopping into this role, who's, Sarah was definitely only a part of one episode, but many people who had played the game were very surprised by how much she was able to kind of portray in that short amount of time for a small role that if you've played the game, you get done with in maybe like 20 minutes. So, what are you expecting out of her for this? Have you also seen the animated movie?
No, I have not.
Of course. Okay.
Of course not.
Of course.
So that doesn't help me any.
Come on.
It doesn't. But
great.
how do you think she's gonna train a dragon?
It's like
Well,
fantastic
hopefully
stuff
she
you're gonna
can and doesn't get eaten.
Well said. Well said.
No.
Moving on.
upload. That's-
Jalen, as our artist of the group,
Indeed.
I'd like to know, because obviously the cartoon itself, or not cartoon, the animated movie itself was
Right,
very targeted to kids. It was very kiddish. The dragons, for the most part.
Oh, I was just kidding. I saw the movie.
Oh, god damn! What?
I saw all of them. How do you not? Isn't it not like streaming services?
I don't know, Jared. You haven't seen a lot of things, okay?
It does,
Dude,
it does
How to
fit
Train
in
a-
line with your
How to
character.
Train a Dragon was a really good movie. Just gonna
Yeah.
say that. Like
Plus, I believe
all the series.
Now that I think about it, Shell played it a lot when we lived at
Yeah.
the townhome.
There you go. But no, no. We actually, dude, we watched like everything when we all lived
Damn,
together.
it's
Not
been
gonna
that
lie.
long since the first one came out. That's crazy.
Since the
Shell
first one came out?
watches
Yeah.
movies even he's not watching the movie.
Yeah, he just has it on. Normally, he just has it
Yeah.
on, and he'll go do something. And I was like, "Shall you watching this? Because I want to play." I'm like, it'll be something random like that.
He's like,
No,
"You have
as
to
far
change
as
it."
so as far as for her, like I just feel like when you go into a live action role and like the way she prepared for The Last of Us, and you said like you said, you pointed it out, she did a
Little
really
bit
good
of source
job, and
material,
and,
very little.
and just a little, and it was only like a snip of what she could possibly do, but how she killed that role, I think it's I mean, and How to Train a Dragon is actually one of those movies that I feel like everybody knows or at least has watched because it's so like
One of them. Yeah, you know what I mean?
you know,
You watched at least
and
one.
exactly. You at least seen the first one, and like the fact that she could do that for the video game, I feel like it'll translate well. So yeah, didn't mean to just joke around about.
No, you're
I
good,
didn't
you're
see
good.
it.
He was about to skip you
I
entirely.
know.
because
I
of
was
the-
like,
thought
bro,
it
I'm
was-
just joking. I saw it. It's like, bro,
You never know.
like
okay?
I just said, you everybody probably
I-
seen
I-
at
like
least the
I
first
said,
one.
also-
Figured out a way to make this longer.
I also didn't pick up on the whole tone of it being a joke as well. So. Well
Like, no,
played,
what are you
sir.
talking-
Well
I was
played.
like, no, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? I was like, no.
And now for the other guy that you cut off, Jalen.
Yay! And
hello,
there goes our
mate.
host.
Hello, me. What was your question, Nolan?
My question to you, Sir Artist,
Yes.
is we know that the cartoon or animated movie made the dragons, very approachable, I guess is the right way to say it. As they move towards into this live action remake, do you think that they're going to try to digitally create these dragons so that they are seemingly more approachable, or are they going to go kind of, House of the Dragon kind of style where it's like these are some badass dragons, but they
Yeah.
just are really attached to their owner kind of thing?
I think they'll go somewhere in between. I don't think you can quite pull off the campy like kid aesthetic when you're adapting it to live action as much. I do think there's a lot artistically that you can kind of pull from as far as like how the character looks and how they act, but like it's gonna probably get a PG-13 just because you're having to adapt so much action and so much other stuff, and when you put real people in there, that generates different emotions than when you're watching an animated film. Because How to Train Your Dragon is also arguably, I think, one of the greatest trilogies that's ever been made in film, let alone just like movies, period. So when you have that kind of heavy material, it's different watching an animated character say those things and have those heartfelt moments, but when it's like real people, that generates a completely different set of emotions. So it might end up in more of a PG-13 range, not be so kid oriented, and maybe catch more like the YA novel group, or what is now Gen Z, whenever it gets adapted. So I think it'll be really interesting artistically to see like what boundaries they're gonna push and how creative they'll get with all the different types of dragons. I especially want to see what they do for the adaptation of Toothless, because I think that's going to be so cool to see that kind of origin in the first movie. So yeah, I'm definitely down and here for a live action adaptation of it. It's kind of sucks we're doing a live action adaptation instead of like another more kind of original idea maybe. But hey, here we are. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I think it's great. It was a great animated franchise, and really that you can use it as storyboards almost if you want to remake the movie in live action and kind of go from there.
Very good, very good.
Oh, fantastic.
The next thing, because
killing it.
I mentioned the topic off the pod, but I'm gonna save that for the last one because I know it's gonna have some heat behind it, probably. But the next thing that we're moving on to is that Silent Hill Ascension is going to be a streaming series. It's going to be pretty much animated. And you get to kind of control each character's fate. I don't necessarily know what streaming service it's going to be up on yet, or in what fashion, or how it's going to work. Because we've had the choosing kind of in Netflix, where they allow you to kind of choose different things for certain shows or different products that they're putting out. But what do you guys think about this? There's always been this kind of stigma about horror movies or things like that, where the character you don't want to die dies, and the character that should die doesn't die and gets redemption or something along those lines. So I kind of want
the
to
black guy that always dies first. The usual.
I didn't want to go there, but I'm gonna allow you to do it because of reasons. But anyways,
what reasons? No,
this is a podcast. People can't tell, man.
I'll leave it open house because we all play video games here, and Silent Hill may not have been a game we played together or at all in general. But it is a game that has been been adapted well, I guess you could say, for the big screen. Hasn't really had much success in the two movies that they put out. But it is kind of like a cult classic game, kind of in the same vein as Resident Evil, just not quite up there yet. But is this something that might catch your guys' eye? Even though, if this is something that's horror related, we may not be interested in the horror, but this could evolve things for future other games or other streaming shows where you can kind of choose the fate, choose the ending. How's it going to go for you guys?
I think it's an interesting concept again, but it kind of is giving me the same vibes as the horror. Was it Kaleidoscope deal where they implied that we could have an impact on like how the show was going to go, but really it's like there's a definite watching order to the show once you kind of put all the things together. Or at least there's a definite order that will give you a great experience watching the show, as I discovered. But again, it's one of those that I kind of have to like maybe just watch a couple episodes or try a couple episodes of it to see, and then kind of go from there. I didn't really play the Silent Hill game, so it's not as big, fan servicey stuff for me. But I think it's a cool idea, and I'm interested to see how it goes over. And I will definitely give like a couple episodes a try just to see what that's like.
Right on.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same boat with Jay. I like the concept. I'm just gonna kill everybody off first anyway. I mean, that's literally if I get to pick, I'm just gonna kill everybody, like just to see. Like, I like how you have the scenarios and whatever, but I mean, like Jay put out, it has that kaleidoscope feel, and hopefully we don't have that same result as Keone had in that regard, because he said he never wants to do that ever again.
I'll never watch that show ever.
Did you at least try it in my order?
Yeah, did you at least try it?
Why would we rewatch it at that point?
Honestly, I was like, honestly, I don't think it would have. Because it already got messed up.
Because you already watched all kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I think from that one, it was like my biggest complaint was like, if they had made it where like one version that one guy was like the right guy, and then the other version, the Giancarlo Esposito character was the right guy, like it would have been a completely different experience. But I think because they made it so it's like, how do you ever think otherwise from what actually happened? Like, how can you not be in line with what Giancarlo was doing. Like, it just didn't make sense
Well,
to
ask
me.
you again in 2 years so you can rewatch it. Be like, oh, I forgot all about it,
I
and then
will
watch it in
never
Jalen's
forget
order.
shit.
Watch it in my order. You're gonna have a different. Like I had a.
And you'd be like,
fantastic
dude, this
time
is
with that
so
show.
much better. I love
No.
this.
Keone, I guess to round it off, now I'm going to give you a scenario.
Here we go.
When it comes
He's
to
gonna
the
kill us all.
show, the streaming service, I can probably assume, because everyone always, growing up, you always do those kind of like, what would you do? Who would you pick? Two people are hanging off a cliff. Who are you going to pick to save? Do you think this game is going to kind of play into that? Like, Johnny, the cool jock who's your best friend, is hanging off this side. And, oh, Sarah, your high school sweetheart, sitting on this side. Who are you going to save?
See you,
Myself.
Johnny.
It's funny because I'm hoping it's more like that than it is like what Bandersnatch was, because Bandersnatch was kind of like a choose your own adventure type of deal, like
Yeah.
go this way, go that way type of deal. And I feel like it did feel impactful, like when I made my decisions in Bandersnatch. Obviously, there's like a completely dark ending to that movie as opposed to the one that you could go. And if you did I cheated. I went back and redid it so that I could get the best ending just to see what it looked like. But yeah, initially I was just like thinking, like, if it's just like decisions like that where I literally have to choose who lives or dies, like that's dark. Like,
That's super
regardless of this, regardless of if this is animated or not, like that's a hell of a line to go down. And the other thing I was thinking is, like, if you are going to make it an animated film with a choose your own direction type of deal, why not just make this a video game? Why even go to the whole movie streaming service idea if you could just,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, it seems like it's very much like a
game.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's essentially like we're just making a video game, but like a longer video game, I guess. I don't know. To me, I was like, this seems like an oddball idea to kind of get people interested in doing the whole, like, honestly, I'm like, it interests me, but it doesn't interest me. Like, I get they attached the name of Silent Hill. I liked the games. They were terrifying beyond belief, and I didn't want to play them, in the dark. But yeah, it's just a weird, it's like a weird, like, niche thing that I think they're trying to attach to, that I'm kind of like, why? Like, what's the point of this? But then again, we're probably all going to try it and see, like, who ends up surviving at the end. I
So
don't
who
know.
did you murder?
Obviously, I'm going to keep my boy. No, I'm just joking. Just kidding. Love you, babe.
It was Derek.
This
It's
Derek.
Jared.
Kyle!
Kyle. Yeah.
Kyle.
Shut the fuck up,
Kyle's
Kyle.
getting kicked off the cliff.
Shut up, Kyle.
Dude, if there's a Kyle, Kyle's the first to die.
damn,
Guaranteed.
Kyle.
I'm just saying, if there is a Kyle, he's done.
No, I'm telling you,
Done.
please. Even if you don't enjoy the movie, go watch Renfield just for the pure fact that they have the exact line "Shut the fuck up, Kyle" in the movie. Please, in the same infliction when they say it. It was a beautiful moment.
Perfect. Hey, listen to the
Indeed.
podcast.
Listen to the podcast.
Shout out Nicolas Cage, our number one fan.
Yeah, Nick
Imagine.
Cage. Yeah.
Was that your Nick Cage impression? It's kind of like
Good
Johnny
actor or
just
bad actor?
I think he's a great actor, actually.
He is a great actor who knows that he can just play his own roles that he wants now. Because
Why you gotta blow your money, man? Come on. I know you had to make a ton of crappy films.
also
Like,
bad.
honestly.
Fantastic actor. He just had a weird,
Yeah, come
unfortunate
on.
bankruptcy issue. So
life
Come on.
happens.
kind of ruined his career that way of taking every
Life
movie that he
happens.
could just to not
Yeah.
be broke. So
Hot take. Nicolas Cage.
Anyways, the next
Go.
thing,
No, shook
and
you.
Keone, I'm going to give you credit because you kind of put this into our group chat that I was unaware of coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Hidden Strike, which is a buddy, I would say buddy cop movie, not really cops,
Yeah,
buddy
yeah,
military
vibe.
movie, starring
Rush Hour
John
4.
Cena and
Sure.
Jackie Chan. Two people I never thought would share the screen together. Right?
Yeah.
maybe
Facts.
one's like 100 years old.
Unless it was like Expendables 5 or something. Like,
right.
Really though,
Yeah.
Expendables
but
10,000.
the trailer has come out. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go watch it because it's exactly what you think it is. I'll let you have a crack at it first, Keone. What were your thoughts watching that? And is this a good movie, or is this going to be kind of like
It's not. It's going to be a cult classic type of film. Like it's a 100% not going to be like, I don't even know if it's going to make it to the theaters. If I'm being real honest, it seems like it might just go
It
straight
might
to
straight to
streaming
streaming,
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, like it's what is his name?
John Cena, Jackie Chan.
No, I was gonna say the Punisher, but it's not the Punisher. What is his name in the DC
Peacemaker.
universe? Yeah, it's Peacemaker meets Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan is
like literally like every quip he had in there, I was thinking like this is literally like Peacemaker. It's like John Cena as Peacemaker,
and then he plays
now
that
with
role
Jackie
well.
Chan.
So
Yeah, exactly. Like he does the very weird stoic comedy stuff really well. And Jackie Chan, I mean, one of the most underrated, like for everybody who saw The Foreigner, you know what I mean? Like he was really, really freaking fantastic in that film.
That was kind of like the in my eyes, it was not the same, but it was kind of like law abiding citizen in a way.
Yeah,
where
we
like,
wanted him to
justice
win.
System fucked me over, so I'm gonna fuck you over.
Yep, that's exactly my feel. Like I was like, I can't believe I'm rooting for the technically terrorist in this situation. Like, but yeah, like he's underrated. Does fantastic in all his films. Obviously, has been on the just like he's like the action star of all action stars, and it's been a while since I've seen him in anything. I think he kind of has like a little bit of resurgence happening now because he's in the
I think maybe
Teenage
because
Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is that on the docket? I forgot if that was on the docket. Okay, gotcha. But anyway, yeah, he's in there. He's in that one for that film. So I'm like, he's just kind of having a little bit of a comeback, and
I bet you
I'm
it's
excited.
a bit of a roll forward, just because if Rush Hour 4 is actually coming out, he's trying to get him back on screen, so people were like, Jackie Chan.
I don't honestly like. I feel like he's a legend, man. Like if people don't know who he is, like he's one of those guys. Like Robert De Niro is another one, Denzel Washington another one. Like when they get back into films, like
people
you have to watch it. Yeah, so that's why for me personally, like it probably will go straight to streaming, but I'm hoping it doesn't because I'm just hoping that people will just show some love to Jackie Chan just because it's Jackie Chan. I'm still not fully on board with the John Cena train, but I'm still, I'm slowly warming up to the guy, and I think this is another one of those films that fits his style very well. And honestly, like, I didn't see it coming, but I thought it was fake when I saw the trailer, but then I dropped it. I was like, oh, what the hell? It's real. Okay. So I'm excited to see it.
Have you guys, gentlemen, seen the trailer?
Yeah, I saw it when he dropped it in there.
Bingo
When
bongo.
he dropped it.
So I'll throw it over to you first, Jalen. What are your thoughts? Is this something that you're going to be interested in seeing? Are you on the same train that Keone and I are, where the roles that John Cena has been picking lately is the best roles possible for him, and he's doing a great job with that?
I don't know if they're the best roles possible for him. I think it's the one that makes him money right now, so he's riding that train while he can.
That's fair.
I do think there's avenues where John Cena can do something that's a little bit more serious and contemporary. Obviously, we'll have to kind of wait and see if he ever gets an opportunity to do something like that. But I will say he does that role fantastic. I loved him as Peacemaker in Suicide Squad. I love him in general. I think in, what was it? The one where he's trying to protect his daughter in college or whatever the fuck it was. Red Band comedy.
Yeah.
Cock blockers.
Yeah, cock blockers.
Yeah,
So
there
I
you
loved
go.
him in that
I was
movie.
like, I don't know. I was thinking roosters, like the rooster.
No, because
There we go.
all the advertising was a rooster, and then
Rooster blocker.
Yeah. I got you.
But so like that kind of role he does really well, and obviously Jackie Chan's Jackie Chan. You know what I mean? I think I just hope people realize like he's still alive. You know what I mean? Like that dude's old now. Okay, I love Jackie, but homie, you're up there, and I need you to keep on keeping on because I ride high off the Rumble in the Bronx stuff and all those like OG.
Whew.
Yeah, like that's
one of my
favorites
favorite
from
films,
Jackie.
man. Oh hell yeah!
And then
You should have
obviously
a
you
top
the
5
Rush
Jackie Chan thing. Come on.
Rush Hour
Drunken
1,
Master,
2,
like all that
3.
kind of stuff. But Jackie Chan's what got me starting to love like all the like kind of kung fu, like older pure kung fu movies.
Yeah.
I saw the Drunken Master movie that he did.
Drunken
like,
Master,
in
yep.
old like Chinese Hollywood.
Always does the gum.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And obviously,
You guys tried that out. We tried that at the apartment.
Who
Did
tried
we try
it?
this at the apartment? We tried to be
what?
the drunken masters at the apartment.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, who tried the gum when they were younger and they watched the movie where he has the gum like on his wrist and he just goes like that and
Oh yeah,
No.
all the time, all the time.
What are you talking about?
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Tell me you didn't go by or like just go up to a tree and start like like
Oh,
from Rumble in the Bronx, like
yeah.
No, Jesus, check it.
I think my
So
favorite
good.
part is always his outtakes because it's
Yes.
so
Oh,
cool
yeah.
because he does his own stunts.
Where he injures himself.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh,
fun fact for a
God.
lot of people that don't know, like Jackie Chan was a gymnast, not a martial artist and a stuntman. Like that's
Yep.
what he did, and then he happened to
Yep.
land
Yep.
a lot of the. He had to learn kung fu on the fly for most of those movies. But yeah, I mean, I'm in. I like John Cena. I like Jackie Chan. I think I'm in the same boat with Keone, though. I think it goes to streaming, if anything. I don't think this movie's actually going to get a theatrical release. And then
Yeah.
we'll see about this Rush Hour 4. Like Chris Tucker is a little bit bigger now, a bit older now.
I mean,
He still looks good, but they're both really
shit some
fucking
weight. He's
old.
not that bad.
Yeah,
He's a little
They're-
thicker now.
they're both old. Is my issue. So
Let's just face it. Jackie Chan's
You
the
know.
one that runs around and jumps. Chris Tucker just
Yeah.
yells there, Lee! Lee!
so true.
How?
Jared, we'll round it out with you. If this was to release in theaters, what is your over-under on its box office run? I'm going to give you a number. Just let me know if it's over or under.
Oh god.
You know, then this is in a world where right now the Fast X movie is probably sitting around 500 to 600 million.
Crazy. Yeah.
You know, Shazam 2 made less than 150 million worldwide. I'm going to give you the number of 175 million. Does this movie break 175 million?
Honestly, yeah, I think so. I think there's so many Jackie Chan loyal fans, and then you have the wrestling people who always want to see John Cena. I think the more the Jackie Chan part of it, though, like for me, like Keone said, relative that he's alive, and the fact that he made a movie, like you always want to see a Jackie Chan movie, no matter if it's good, bad, or whatever. It's Jackie Chan, you know.
Yeah, how
So-
many death scares has that guy had, by the way, or like death
Dude, I don't
pranks or
know.
whatever they call them? Like, I don't know how many times I was just like, "Oh God,
Dude,
Jackie
some of
died," and
his-
it's like, "Oh, it's fake."
Yeah.
Like,
No, some of the stuff like that he posts afterwards in the after credits and everything, I'm just like,
Hits
dude,
himself
how
with a
did you
coffee table.
How did
or-
you survive that? Or he gets
Yeah.
poked, or he has to go to the hospital. Like
Yeah.
the ambulance literally comes. I'm just like, dude, what?
Yeah.
But yeah,
would
I think
go
over.
way under for that one.
Really?
Yeah, way under. I think it would probably top out at 95 to 100 mil after its total run. I just don't like. I love the people that are in it. Don't get me wrong, but it's in the vast landscape of what we've got going on with movies right now. It's just not one of. It's a semi-original idea, and it's basically just writing off of the buddy cop aspect of John Cena and Jackie Chan. So it's just it's not something people are going to go pay to watch. They'd rather watch it on streaming.
not to mention, we're like pretty like locked in with the entertainment stuff, and if we hadn't even heard of it, like
That's
I almost
true.
guarantee when it drops,
Right.
there's like almost
That is
nobody's
true.
gonna have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, moving on to our second to last topic. And this is something that all of us have watched or partaken in at some point. The female-led Office
Oh, God.
reboot,
Jesus Christ.
filmed by, I think, Prime Australia, is going to be coming to Amazon Prime streaming. Or Prime Video, sorry. Now, The Office does hold a near and dear place in all of our hearts. One, and I'll start this with Jared. Do you think that it can capture the same raunchy attitude that The Office originally did? Because now, understand that is coming to streaming. Streaming is not broadcast television. You are allowed to be a little more free in what you are portraying. And let's face it, those who watch The Office were not there for the censoring and PG stuff, right? They're there to see the raunchy attitudes of everyone that's working at that paper company of Dr. Mifflin. Now, Jared, do you think that this could work out because they're going to be allowed to have a little more freedom? And let's face it, Australians are probably a little more raunchy than we are in everyday conversation. Thoughts?
I don't think it gets the same hit as the original. The original was
Okay.
just like too good. I mean, we ended up watching it at the house. We ended up doing a lot of things, and
The
like that's just one of
original.
those originals that you don't want to see that. It's like trying to make Friends again.
That's
Like
true.
it's so iconic, you know, and people always relate or they refer to The Office in some of their bits, and it's just like it's not something that you really want to see them redo because I think it's iconic in the things that we
Hmm.
talk about. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll throw it over to you real quick, Jalen. Now, this lead actress, Felicity Ward, is a comedian. Don't really know any of her material,
Yeah, never heard of her.
yeah, same.
but
Good start.
do you think that there is
Good
hope?
start.
Because I wouldn't necessarily say Steve Carell was the biggest household name before getting the Office job.
He wasn't. Yeah.
Do you think that this should be taken as a indicator that it could possibly work out, and she could be a great leading lady or leading character in the show, or do you think this is all folly?
This is nonsense. This is nonsense. Listen, the Office that we got was technically also a reboot because what's his name from
Yeah,
the UK?
Ricky Gervais is also going to be
Ricky
producer on the
Gervais
new show,
had
I believe.
Right. I mean, that's good news, I guess, because he might have been involved with kind of scouting the field and whatnot, and bringing that adaptation over there. But this is nonsense because there's just a lot. The Office worked because of the time that it came out. You could get away with a lot of PC shit in your comedy that you absolutely could not do now, regardless if it's on a streaming service or network television. It did not matter. And Steve Carell has come out and said numerous times you couldn't make The Office today because of how Michael's character and how ignorant he was and the things that he said and did and the repercussions of those choices and some of the caricatures that were portrayed in the show. Like the basis of most of the comedy that was in The Office just doesn't work now. So it doesn't make sense to me to try to reboot it with a female lead, painting that as our PC safe version of The Office. So this is nonsense. I'll probably watch it just to give it a whirl and say I tried to get in on it
Give it some
because
love.
you never know, right? I could eat my shoe. It's like I did with the Cobra Kai series, right? But
That's a good point.
I have the least amount of faith possible in this being any amount good because they're not doing anything really with it other than saying like the Michael Scott character is basically going to be a female now. Which like there's creative avenues I feel like that you could do that with really established and really great female comedians that we like know and all that kind of stuff. But they went the other route, so here we are. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, not going to do it. Cool.
Definitely not.
Keone, I'm going to throw it over to you, and kind of rolling off of some stuff that Jalen has said. Do you think, one, is the female lead because they want to be a little more open to everybody who could be viewing their show? And two, why not start it over with maybe someone that has some notoriety currently? Maybe like a Matt Rife, who's an up and coming comedian, maybe a Pete Davidson in that kind of role as a comedian. Even freaking Joe Coy, if he was willing to kind of step in and do some fun gigs like that. Do you think that this is all kind of a weird ploy to, I don't want to say the W word that everyone loves to throw around, but you know where I'm heading with that.
Taylor Thomas would have been great.
Yeah, I actually
Liza
think Taylor
Schlesinger
Thomas would
would've
be
been
Sam
great.
Sam
But,
Morrell.
See, I'll say
Morrell.
this honestly, even if they got Kevin Hart involved and he's like a mega comic, like you can't redo the show. Like I'm gonna put it out. I'm probably the biggest fan of this show.
Yeah.
said it many
That's
times.
why I watched it a lot, because of
Yeah,
you.
yeah. This was like this is my all time favorite show. I literally watch it like at least twice a year, all the way through from season 1 to season 9. Like I watch it completely through. Sometimes I'll just play it while I'm cooking or whatever. Like it's something I
It's
can
true.
quote very, very well. Like I know the show up and down. I do think there was some seasons there. Like season 8 was probably not a good season. Then
Let's
they
not
ended it
talk
very
about
great.
after he left.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like it's the magic of like what the show was initially when it came out. Like not being the greatest show in the first season, they bombed, and then the second season comes along and they kind of work on it together. The characters kind of flesh out themselves. There was like a whole thing about whether or not Michael Scott was too cringy in the first season. Either way, like all that stuff aside, like the geeky office stuff, like I don't think you're really doing this actress a service by putting her in this like iconic of a role. Like if anything, it will probably kill her career a little bit, because you know there's going to be a lot of stands out there. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to, like Jay said, give it a chance, probably watch it,
See
turn
how
it
it
on, see
goes.
what happens with it, see how it goes. But at the end of the day, like to put her into that position and like to have such an iconic character be who she's following, and one of the best like comedic actors ever, like to be put into that spot
True.
also, like to me it's you're just setting her up for failure. Like you really are. Like it doesn't matter if they're able to recapture the raunchiness. Like they could go all out. I mean, who knows? They could just go completely opposite of the whole PC thing, start throwing out all these like new age whatever things, like kind of like along the lines of like what Modern Family did, and like some of these other shows that are like out there. Shameless is another one. Like they were able to kind of still hit that, like tiptoe on that line, and they could do all that. But honestly, it's because the first show was like damn near perfection for a lot of people, just like you said, Jared, with Friends, that I don't think that no matter how good she does in the role, that people are gonna like be receptive to it. So like honestly, like it for me, it kind of pissed me off when I saw like the initial like thing, because I was like, how are you gonna reboot something that was like, one, not that old, two, like so iconic, such a big part of like history, like as far as like television and all this other stuff, because so many mockumentaries started coming out post that show. Obviously, you had Parks and Recs as well, was like right after that one, kind of in the same vein. Like I don't know. To me, it's you're literally setting up, and I could be wrong. Felicity Ward could be a fantastic actress, but at the end of the day, to like put her in that kind of pressure cooker, like why not just come up with their own IP for this? Like it just doesn't really make sense. Like you could make a whole mockumentary type of deal with something else entirely, and not have to throw in the Office name, because yeah, I mean, even the people who were in the original British one said that the new one was better, and that'll be the one that'll be remembered. So it's
I
just such a
mean,
weird
like Jalen said, we could all be
idea.
sitting here eating our shoe if this show ends up being like somehow the funniest show
Yeah,
on
yeah.
television or streaming. But that will,
And the other thing too is
time will
like,
tell.
when was like the last like really good reboot of anything? Like,
Very true.
yeah, like what
Very
was the
true.
last like
Yeah, it's
reboot
hard
that we
to.
were all like, oh wow, that was such a great reboot? Like Girl Meets World, and like what were the other ones that came out from Disney? Like there were so many that came out there, and then I don't
Yeah,
know,
we
man.
don't talk
Like
about
yeah, yeah,
that.
Yeah.
yeah,
um,
all
The
that
Hillary
another
Duff
one.
How I Met
Like
Your Mother isn't bad. I just haven't watched it yet, but
How I
that's
Met Your
yeah,
Father.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty good.
How
Who's
I
got
Met Your
Hillary
Father.
Duff?
Yeah.
Well, that's obvious, but yeah.
Anyways, before we get
Sorry.
off on a tangent, the last thing we're gonna go over, and this is
Heart shape.
we're going to frame it. Okay, all right.
Got a lot of heart.
Miles and miles
Miles,
apart.
miles. Okay.
Oh God.
Oh,
But yes. Recently comments came out from Andy Muschietti, who is the director of the Flash movie that's coming out on June 16th. Um, he made some comments And let it be known that this is just the director making a comment and it is not a confirmation. So we are just going to be basing it off of what this guy has said. But given how well, I guess, Ezra Miller performed their character of Barry Allen the Flash in the Flash movie, Andy Muschietti, the director, has stated that they do not plan to recast Ezra Miller for the Flash. Before we get into the hot stuff, because I can see Jalen's stewing it up really quick, I'll throw it over to you real quick, Jared. Is this possibly a ploy, just saying that there's probably not going to be another Flash movie anyway, so he's just saying it to say it?
I mean, not having a Flash movie is one thing, but if the Flash probably appears in other movies, and if you're telling me that he doesn't do that stuff, and
Remember,
you're not
it's
going to
the
recast it,
reset,
so
right? It's the full. Oh, not the full. Sorry, it's the reset of this new DCU. Is because the Flash movie is not slated from announcements that we've had thus far. Is this maybe just a play on words, like syntax, kind of just like?
I mean, I honestly don't know. But you see that man in that corner down there?
I'm saving him for
He's
that.
got a
You know,
lot to say.
I'm
And
saving
as
him.
I like how
I'm
Keone's taking
saving
the
him.
Don't have
a
a
little
lot to
laid
say.
back row over
I
here
don't.
because
It's
I'm
very
always interested when Jalen's gonna go
Okay,
talk
I'll let
about
Jalen go next,
a
and then I'll let
certain
Keone.
person.
No,
let-
let me go before
No,
Jalen.
Keone's going last.
Jalen,
Keone.
Jalen is
let
going
Jalen go
last,
last.
man.
Keone is
Because
going
Jalen's gonna
last.
bring us home.
All right.
Yeah, no,
Keone.
honestly, I don't know.
I don't want to go
honestly
after
don't know.
Jalen.
Keone, let me ask this.
Why? That's all I gotta say.
So I'll say this.
Why?
In
That's why I went with I don't know.
things unrelated to the future of the Flash, given, let's say, Ezra Miller and their performance are actually some of the best performances in comic book movies, does Ezra Miller have a place in the future for just roles in general that will be in big movies, not just comic book movies? Because they
Personally,
probably.
like, or are we thinking?
Do you believe that if they go through the right rigmarole to right their wrongs, right themselves, do the right rehab, whatever it may be, do they deserve a chance to be allowed a further career, whether it's in big movies or not, but in general, furthering your career?
Look, I'm not gonna say that anybody doesn't deserve a second chance. I mean, we'll put that out there because even there are instances where some convicts, you know, they,
Convict.
they are able to rehabilitate and all these sort of things. But in the same sense, it's not that far removed from the incidents that did happen. So in my head, why even show that little bit of support, even if it's to be like supportive of the artist? Because I'm just saying, there's an example of somewhere in Disney where we got a guy who's not even convicted of anything just yet, and he's already being plastered all over the place for, you know,
Domestic
not being in the
violence.
films and all this other stuff, and his characters being tainted and all these things. But this kid actually was caught on camera, shown all over the world, convicted in all these cases, and yet this dude wants to show support for him. Like, what is the point in showing support for anybody in that scenario? Like, why even say the words? Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, why not get in front of this damn thing and be like, we don't want him around because of his character. It's shown clearly. Like, I could see 5 years from now, but it was like just last year, maybe even the beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, these incidences weren't that far removed from where we are right now. So for me, it like just doesn't make sense, like, to show support in any way, shape, or form for this man who clearly made very stupid decisions, did a lot of stupid things, and it's all over the place. Like, what is the angle here? Like, to try to help his character. Like, I don't understand, because we've seen examples of why this kid doesn't deserve to be part of the future of this entire thing. We've talked about it like countless times about whether or not this movie should even come out and all these other things. Like, to me, it literally makes zero sense for him. I don't understand it at all. This is why I have such a hard time grasping what the hell DC is trying to do, because at the end of the day, it's like, why even leave that in limbo? Why make it a question for everybody to wonder? What is the point of that? Like, that's so controversial. Why not just cut it at the seams? This is his last movie. This is the last thing he'll ever be in, for us particularly, and wish him well in his future. Like, that's it. Like, what is the point? What are we gaining from him saying this kind of crap? Like, and if he does end up using them again, he's an idiot. Point blank, period. That's it.
Totally understandable and agreeable. Jalen, I'll throw it over to you. The director, Andres Muschietti, did further say that, or worded it as, he can't see anyone else playing the Flash and Barry Allen as great as Ezra Miller did. One, do you think this is something where they know that they can't have him on press releases and really be the front and center of red carpet premieres? Do you think this is their way of also kind of just promoting how great of a performance it is in the movie? Because let's face it, separating the art from the artist, a lot of critics are saying that this is a very, very good performance of a movie in a comic book realm, right? So that's the first question. Two, obviously, Andy Muschietti has his own opinions, his own right to an opinion, but it is not his decision if they're recasting or not of Ezra Miller. Kind of going further, I'll let you kind of expand on what you think is his words meaningless in regards to Ezra's future, and what do you see from this comment?
Idiots everywhere, just all around that department right now. As far as the first part of your question, yeah, they're probably promoting it so that way people go see it, all this other shit, blah 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 blah. I think the actual quote itself was just him being a director, being like, yeah, he did a really good job in the movie that I made.
My movie's about to come out. What a performance.
What a great job this kid did in the movie that I made. Go see it, please, so I make money. That's all that is. That's all it's ever going to be. As far as like the second part of the question, as far as all that, James Gunn wouldn't surprise me if somehow he's like, actually, yeah, we'll recast the Flash, but we're going to make sure we don't do anything else that's logical. You know what I mean? So I don't see that being a crazy avenue. As far as him getting more roles in Hollywood, it'll definitely happen because he's, got a great pigment on the skin, and sometimes in Hollywood, it's all you need. And before any fucking wackadoo comes in here and says, well, Robert Downey Jr. had some problems before.
That was self-inflicting crimes.
Number one, self-inflicting. Number two, he didn't fucking groom and kidnap anybody, okay? This dude is an actual criminal running around out here, just having the time of his life, reaping all the money in from this box office, which is probably going to do at least $200 million opening weekend. More than likely.
Really?
Just because of the trailers and who's in it. I have no doubt in my mind because people are fucking stupid. And there's been plenty of this campaign of separate the art from the artist and yada yada, and I'm like, nope, that's why they made pirating. So I will not be giving him money, but I'll probably see the movie, and just for my own nerdgasm and try to convince myself it's a Michael Keaton movie that has a convicted or should be convicted felon in it playing the Flash, and it'll be fine.
Watching it for Sasha Kai.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that's all this comment from Muschietti was. I'm with Keone. The fact that you would even, I get where he's coming from,
but why say it? And why verbalize
it? But why? Like, no one wants to hear any support for this guy at this point. Yeah. Like, you can say, hey, I think the movie I made was really great, and Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck did a fantastic job. You can literally talk about anyone but Ezra Miller, in my opinion, if you're going to promote the movie, because there is no positive connotation to his name right now. There isn't. And any Andys that are in there being like, well, you got to separate the art from the artist. You're an idiot. And you need to just rethink a lot of your own life decisions.
You're an idiot.
And I would ask you, if your daughter was the one that he groomed and kidnapped and held basically hostage for months on end, would you feel the same way about separating the art from the fucking artist? No, you wouldn't. This is a human issue. Come on, people. We're smarter than this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Muschietti's on some crack. DC's on crack. We broke that news a long time ago on a little bit of nerd, just saying.
You did.
We did. Yeah. It's a big deal, and we have been proven right ever since.
Well, I think that'll do it for us here on a lovely, lovely post-credits.
Muschietti's on crack.
Muschietti's on crack.
You heard it here
For
first,
anyone
folks.
else wondering, he's on the good stuff.
That's the best way to end it, man.
But we will let everybody know your social so they can go find you. Jared, starting with you, sir.
I am on Instagram and Twitch at jshirai, JSHIRAI, and on Twitter at jshirai808.
Jalen.
You can find me on Twitter at Jalen Holston. You can find me on Instagram at ArtByJalen. You can find me on Twitch at MochaThanos_LGG.
And Keone.
Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. K-O-N-E. That's K-A-Y-O-H-K-N-E-E.
You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Nolan KYT, Nolan KYT. And please follow our Instagram page, the Poi and Soy Podcast, where we're dropping reels for all the segments we have each week. But once again, everybody, thank you guys for making us a part of your day. We enjoyed having you be a part of ours. From all of us here at Poi and Soy, good vibes and love.
Bang, bang.
Shoots.